Hey, what do you say? All right, great to be here with you guys. Another episode of The Running Journey. I'm Rob Tatro. Thanks for joining us today. This is a fun episode. It's me and Charlie. A lot of stuff in this episode. People have been asking me about my stand-up comedy tour, so we get into that. Before we get into the stand-up comedy tour, today we talk about realistic times for the 5K, the Mic Check Relay. Charlie and I break it down. I open up a bit about what some goals might be. Bottom line is we kind of got to get to 37 minutes combined, which is going to be very, very tough if we want to beat Johnny and Carolyn Coffin in the upcoming Mic Check Relay of July 16th. Get your tickets on Race Roster. I give a good long recap of my stand-up comedy tour. So if you have no interest in how it is to be a comedian building jokes, talk about the tour, you could skip those 10, 15 minutes. But I do give a nice big recap of that. Big shout out to Tyson and Justin for joining me on the stand-up comedy tour, which I am so proud I did. Nobody could ever tell me I'm not willing to try something, because I got up on stage and I tried to do 40 plus minutes of stand-up comedy every single night for 4 straight nights in front of complete strangers, opened up about all sorts of things in my life. So I did that. Then we talk about Phil Gore and the race record that he just crushed. Awesome story. We had that guy on the show. That guy's been on our show. He is now the absolute best endurance runner on the planet. We interviewed that guy. Crazy. Also talk about my parents, Claude and Nanette, who are crushing their workouts, getting ready for a half marathon. They're both in their 70s, by the way. Pretty impressive what my parents are doing these days. And then finally, we talk about bike training, cross training, and bike training in preparation for Charlie's big 500K Cross-Manitoba run on August 9th, where we'll be doing 24 hours of biking for 24 years of sobriety. So, man, it's fun. This is a fun episode. Charlie and I shooting the shizzle, bantering, and talking clearly about what we are passionate about. So it's a fun episode, very fun episode, guys. Enjoy it. Episode of The Running Journey. Cheers, guys. Hey guys, The Running Journey. This is our podcast. This is me, Rob Tatro. This is my brother, Charlie Tatro. Charlie, what's going on?
Same old Ironman training. Imagining myself training for a 5K, but we'll see what happens.
I've been looking at your training sessions and I don't see many 200s and 400s in there. It's more like 100K bikes every day. What'd you do today? Yeah. 84 kilometer bike, no big deal.
Yeah.
What did you do? 2 hours and 18 minutes for 84 kilometers. What is that? 37 kilometers an hour? 36 kilometers an hour?
I think 36, but
wow.
That's including city and everything. So
yeah, I'm aware. I wasn't trying to say it's not good. I was trying to say it's really good.
Yeah, no, it was 38 for the non-city section.
Yeah, so you're cruising along at 38 and in the city, and then sometimes you have to stop and slow down and talk to someone like me who's running on the road.
Yeah, well, there's traffic in Canada.
Traffic and
lots of traffic, yeah.
No, the story last week, you saw me on I was running.
I saw you from far. I spotted you from far, yeah.
I felt bad after because I was like, he probably had to slow down and he probably hated his slowing down just to talk to me. You talked to me very briefly?
No, I didn't care about the slowing down.
Okay. So
I kind of look at the sections, not the overall time.
Okay. So you know that in Winnipeg, you might get a light, you might get delayed, you might get whatever. So yeah. Man, that is good. Is that better than what you were biking last year?
It's almost there. I'm almost as good as I was last year. It's pretty close.
Holy smokes.
So that's the thing. I was talking to my wife earlier and realizing that, like, you kind of, when you start off, let's say you haven't biked for a while, you kind of, for some reason, you expect to be exactly where you were when you ended the previous season, but you're not. It takes a while, so it's coming along, and I'm improving pretty well, so it's good.
I would say you are absolutely improving pretty well. This is pretty impressive, this ride this morning. yesterday. Oh, yeah, and you're still swimming. You're not giving up. You're still swimming.
Well, I hadn't swam in like 3 weeks, so this was a tough one yesterday when I went to swim. After I kind of got sick there, I pretty much skipped swimming for a couple weeks. It's like I think swimming for me is like the black sheep of the triathlon family. It's there, but you don't really want to talk to it and things like that. Yeah, so
It's the Rob Tatro of the Tatro family.
no, no.
No, I like. I think it's like that for everyone, though, Charlie. Does anyone love swimming? Do you think?
No, I bet you there are people that love swimming, like that hate running or
Okay,
biking. But I'd say probably swimming is probably the one that the most people struggle with.
if
But
you
I guarantee you there are some people that they like swimming and biking, or they like swimming and
if I polled most people and said your worst, most triathletes, your worst dis or event or whatever, I'm thinking it's 60 to 70% would say swimming, or the least favorite.
yeah, that sounds maybe reasonable. Yeah, I'd say
But you're
definitely
swimming,
the most.
you're swimming strong. You're not worried about it. You're gonna do a good time, regardless what you do. It's gonna be pretty good. Your swim. You
Yeah.
said you haven't done too many. Oh, another 90K bike on, what was that, a couple days ago? So back to back 90Ks, 60. The thing is, like, you're doing 90K in 2 hours and a bit. Back when I did 90K, that was 3 hours or 3 hours and a bit. So you're spending, you're way more efficient. It's kind of like running. When you start getting fast at running,
Yeah.
you can hammer out a 10K
Yeah.
a lot quicker than you used to. So, anyways, it's pretty cool. But I don't
So
see
what about
many.
you?
I don't see many
Yeah.
200s and 400s here, Charlie. Like, I don't see any.
Tomorrow I will have a running workout. First one in a long time. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes. Do you have a running workout tomorrow? I think we probably have the same workout.
I did it. I had one. I mean, for me, it's usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, or Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
So I did it
Yeah.
today.
For me, they're going to be Wednesdays because, well, there's going to be two. I'm going to have two workouts.
But the race is in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I'm going to have one tomorrow.
Okay. So 2 in total.
And then I'm going to have one a week from tomorrow. That's going to be all my workouts for this 5K.
Okay. So for those of you that missed the episode last week and don't know what Charlie is talking about, we are running against the Coffins Inspired Souls podcast, The Running Journey, July 16th at Victor Major Track. It's called the Mike Check Relay. Get your tickets now on Race Roster. $5 gets you a meal and come run a 1,500-meter race. So it's a race, it's a community race, but Charlie and I are also racing against them. We're each doing a 5K. In last week's episode, we were talking about what we need to do. Charlie, we're nowhere near, like, have you committed in your head that we're going to lose this race already?
No. I mean, I think we probably will lose it, but I mean,
did you see Johnny's workouts this week?
I'm going to try. Yeah, he's running 4-minute miles and yeah.
He's running a sub 3Ks, sub 3-minute Ks. Like, Johnny, I told him you're going to have to slow down just so the crowd
make it interesting.
Yeah, make it interesting for the crowd. You don't want to lap me on the second lap, and then there's 10 laps of Johnny just
no. But okay, so let's not sandbag so much. But I think, like, what's a realistic time that you think you can do?
Okay, I'm going to share very, very honestly. I had told myself I wouldn't do this, but then the sandbagging accusation.
Yeah,
I think I'll be honest here. I am targeting a sub 18. That's what I'm targeting.
Oh, so God, I could just take it easy.
But I figure I have to. There's no possible way we can win if I don't do sub 18. Because Johnny's going to do like a 16:30 or 16:20. Like, he's going to be.
So if I do the calculator for his and I plug his 10K time and his marathon time, or has half, it's about 16:40, 16:30.
Okay, I think he's going to be better than that, but fine.
Yeah, he might be better because he's on form and he's a bit of a sandbagger. himself.
And he's PRing every month. Every time he does a race, it's a PR, and he's our age.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be in the heat too, right? So, but let's say regardless, let's forget about that as a thing.
Forget about the heat. Leave the heat
because
out.
it'll affect everyone equally, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 16:30. Let's say I can run a 19:15, which to me would be a bit of a stretch for my current shape. Okay.
Yeah. We've already talked about this last week, but I think it's important to have no bias.
And Carolyn, let's say, can run a 20:30.
She's also going to PR.
Yeah. So 20:30. So that's a minute 15. You only need to you only need to not lose by more than a minute 15.
I know, but he's going to do a 16:30, Charlie, or 16:40.
Oh yeah, 16:30. So you need to go sub 18. Yeah. Okay.
So because of all this talk, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I guess I'm competitive, and I don't want to get crushed in this race. I actually put off my 100K. I was supposed to run 100K tomorrow.
Great decision.
And I told Patrick about
today you were supposed to do it.
Well, it was going to be today. Yeah, I got back late last night. Initially, it was going to be on July 2nd, but then I switched it to today. I ended up traveling late last night. I did my stand-up comedy tour. I got back late, and like nothing was organized. And I was thinking, man, this is going to – and then I talked to Patrick about it last week.
Yeah.
I said, how much impact do you think it's going to have on me? And he said, it's probably 90 seconds doing 100K 12 days before a 5K race. So it's 60 to 90 seconds.
Yeah, to me that's a bit, maybe 30 to 60, but I'll trust what Patrick says.
And I asked ChatGPT.
It's definitely not zero.
It's not zero, and I want to win. And well, then we lose, right? If I lose 60 seconds, the race is over, right? You'd agree? We can't win if I do a 19:30.
It's that close that I think. Right now, there may be like 30-second favorites or something like that. So we need to like overachieve each by 15 seconds, maybe.
Yeah.
To have a chance.
I think when we met last week, 2 weeks ago, and we recorded that episode, I had not really done much training, but I'd done a few. And ChatGPT thought I was on, like, I wasn't sandbagging that episode. That's kind of what ChatGPT thought, 18:45, something like that. And that's what Patrick thought. Patrick thought sub 19. But I've since then have had some really good workouts, and I'm really focused on this. I am going hard, and I think I can maybe get to sub 18. That's my goal. Maybe not, Charlie.
So 17:59. I think 17:59 gives us a chance.
But I mean, that would be an absurd improvement for me in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think 17:59. Yeah, I think that would be a stretch for you, but I think
even if I could do 18:15 or 18:20, and Johnny has a bad day, maybe we're alive, right? I think.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can somehow pull out a 19, maybe 19:10.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for a 19:10, but I feel like it's a bit of a stretch for me right now. So we'll see.
So I've been taking this thing seriously. Today I went and I did 200s and 400s. Like I'd never done this in my life. I was just doing 200s and 400s. So my fastest 200 was 35 seconds. And I think my fastest 400 was, I think, a minute 18 or something. So I don't know. Can I get there?
Yeah. I mean, depends.
I know.
On how hard they felt.
They felt hard, Charlie. They were absurdly hard. My heart rate hit higher than I've ever. You know what I feel like doing? I feel like just going on a treadmill and putting it at 18 minutes and seeing if I can do it. That's how,
but you have to. No, you're better off. You're better off.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to do
it.
But I'm excited about it. Ticket sales are happening. People are coming to this thing.
Yeah.
We've got, and if you haven't heard now, you get a free. It's Johnny's birthday on July 16th. We're gonna have a pizza dinner, cake, soft drinks. Come on out for the community event. People are interested for sure. People are interested. I just want to win.
Okay, so you just came back from New Brunswick,
Yeah,
and how was that out there? Did you get some workouts in?
I
Comedy
did.
tour?
Man, this comedy tour, Charlie, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And this is from a guy who's done motivational speaking. I'm on TV regularly. I do the global stock market. I've done an hour hosting gig with no notes on BNN. And this was the hardest thing I've ever done. And I mean, I'm not talking running wise. I'm just talking about like that kind of stuff. You and I can come on a podcast here with no notes and we could figure it out, right? But like
Yeah,
I prepped hours and hours and hours. I did like, oh, it's in the dozens and dozens of hours to try to get jokes that were tight, that wouldn't. It's just so hard. It's so hard. And then when I did them, I did my first set in Shidziak on Friday. On Thursday, it was I wanted to do 40 minutes. I did 40 minutes. I hadn't done this in front of a club. I hadn't tried them at open mic. I hadn't. It was just me thinking that this would be funny, kind of running them over my buddies. And I mean, it worked out. It was the first night was rough, but I got laughs. I definitely got
okay.
some laughs. It wasn't like a
Some
complete.
laughs. Okay.
Yeah, but then the headliner goes up after me. So what I did is I created this tour. I built this tour around. So I hired these two comedians from out there, and I was going to take all the financial risk. I was going to build this tour. Hopefully, we sell tickets, and then I keep the revenue. Paid them as. So we ended up selling a lot of tickets. We ended up having pretty much selling out the first three shows. So it was great, mostly because these guys are pros. These guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
known. They're known commodities. Well, not mostly, exclusively because those guys are known commodities. Nobody knows who I am. Nobody's ever heard of me. I don't exist on Facebook or socials, or my comedy persona doesn't exist. So we ran a few ads. We packed the place, and then I saw this headliner go up after me, and I just watched him, and I was like, "Holy smokes! Like he's so like it's so tight." I'm telling stories with a punchline. He's he's telling punchlines with a few like a line or two before, and it's punch, laugh, and I just watch these guys work, and man, I learned so much. So then, okay, that night I listened to my show in bed. I listened to my show, and morning I got up, I took some notes, and I was like, it's going to be tighter tomorrow. It's going to be tighter. I'm going to cut the crap. It's going to be way tighter tomorrow. So I did that. I cut the crap, and then I had a little bit more confidence. So I did some ad libbing. I did a little bit of steering here and there, and not all of those worked out, but it was way more fun. The second night, I was oh man, it was awesome. Second night was awesome. Third night, so second night was in Bathurst, New Brunswick. It was on the marina. It was just the coolest thing. Like sold out little bar cabaret on the marina. Just a cool thing. My son was there. These comedians were there. It was fun. And then the third night, the MC didn't show up. He didn't show up to the show. So we had an MC. Then he would do 20 minutes. He would warm up the crowd. Then I would do 40, and then the headliner would do 45 or 50 or whatever was left in the 2-hour slot. And the headliner was there. I was there, obviously. I was doing the door. I was doing everything because it was like an old school comedy tour, selling tickets at the door and IDing people and whatever. But he didn't show up. The MC didn't show up. So now we're panicking. We don't really have. So I just started ice cold, and I didn't realize like crowd kind of. Anyways, that was my war show by far. I was wondering where this guy was. Is he dead? Did he get in an accident? What's happening? He ended up showing up like well later into the night, but it was like a nervous wreck for me, and I didn't do well. And my buddies were there, and Louis Cormier was there. He came out, and so everyone I knew kind of in New Brunswick, which isn't that many people, they came to that show because that was in Moncton, and that's kind of the big French town. So that I didn't do well that show. I was nervous. I was botching my jokes, even though I knew them cold. I was screwing up the order. I did some brutal stuff, and I was nervous. And then my last show in Fredericton. So that night, I went home after the third show. You didn't think you were asking a 10-minute question, eh? You probably didn't.
Perfect. No, that's a perfect length of an answer. Love
the,
it.
the third night, every night I would listen to my show. I'd take some notes. My joke book is like this thick. Like I keep rewriting. I went home, I listened to the show, and I told myself, okay, I'm not good at this. That's fine. I'm okay with it. I tried hard. I really did this. I worked really hard at it. I am not funny enough to be a headliner. I'm funny-ish, funny with my buddies. I'm funny, but like those guys are really, really talented and those guys are really, really good. So I'm just going to quit. I'll do the last show and that'll be it. And I've had a good run and I've tried it. Nobody could ever say, Rob, you don't try anything. Like and I'll know deep down in my heart that I've tried it. And so the next morning, I'm kind of just sad about the whole show and I'm kind of like quitter booting mode. We go to Fredericton, this tiny, tiny comedy club, the Comic Sutra. It was so cool. It was a real comedy club experience, real comedy owned by a comedian in Fredericton, tight vibe, awesome crowd. They were a few drinks deep. And I got up on stage and I said, I'm not even going to do my material. I just started talking and I ran out of gas. Like I'm an adult and I ran out of gas on Sunday. Yes, 2 days ago. I ran out of gas. So I didn't have jokes. I just started talking about running out of gas. And it's like, what is wrong with me? Like I am an adult. The gas gauge works. What's the purpose in doing an extra 5 kilometers? Right? Like if I add those 5 kilometers, and I just kind of riffing. I was just riffing and chirping myself and people were laughing. And this wasn't prepped material. People were laughing. It was working. My bits were working, like improvised. And I'd kind of given up on myself. And then I got energy. And then I took my best. So I did like 15 minutes of crowd work. I started picking with the crowd and it was so fun. And I picked like my best 20 minutes of my 40 minutes. And I cut everything else out. And I just kind of tried to do like the headliners do, is just go to the like quick story punch. And it worked. It was funny. I got 2 claps like during the show.
Nice.
The headliner got a lot of them. So this is when they're laughing so hard that you're kind of pausing and then they're clapping. They're clapping and then you have to stop your material because they're clapping for your joke. I got 2 of those and I was feeling good and I finished my material and like I got a standing ovation at the end and I was like, man, I had a great show. This was fun. So now to answer your question, now I have the urge to do it again. I have the urge because it's like a marathon. It's like
golf.
It's like golf. But I realized it's almost also like running because I'm an addict.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, yeah. So how many marathons before you get a race that goes well?
That's a good point, Charlie. And, everyone was telling me in those communities were telling me like, dude, you've been doing this, what, 5-10 years? I was like, no, like I've never done this. Like, they were like pumping my tires, fake pumping my tires, whatever. And people were very nice to me and you should continue. And so the last show kind of gave me an urge to maybe, do it again or whatever and try to get better at it and just tighten up my material and try to get better at it. I think I'm going to do like a mini tour here in Winnipeg, 2 dates or something with 2 of my buddies and just try my material that I worked like for weeks and weeks on and try to make it happen. But it's also like why do I enjoy being a stand-up comedian? Why do I do it? Maybe, I don't know. I like making people laugh, but really it's the high. It's the high of being on stage and like having that, you got to be funny, right? You got to be funny. You can't not be funny. And it's such a rush. It's such a thrill. It's a dopamine. It's a crazy, crazy hit of dopamine. So I was so high this whole weekend on dopamine. Today, I'm actually, you're going to guess it, I'm actually in a lull because I'm actually like, man, that was so fun and that's over. And so, yeah, I guess I'm a dopamine addict and I chased it. So that's my story, Charlie. I had a great, great time. It was so fun. The whole purpose of this trip was I was dropping off my son at a camp in Fredericton. And I asked him, what do you want to do? He said, I don't know. We could hang out for the weekend in Fredericton and maybe Tyson and Justin could come. Those are my 2 guys. And I was like, yeah, they could come. And I said, why don't I just do a stand-up comedy tour while I'm at it? So anyways, put it together. It was a success. And yeah, I'm not as funny as those guys, clearly. Like those guys are freaking pros. Like that Ryan Doucette, the headliner, that guy is funny. He's like, he could have a Netflix special. Like he's so funny. Anyways, that's my story, Charlie. I had a great time. It was fun.
Good for you. And your son was there. So
yeah, he came the first night and I was like, because I did some bits about being an addict. I did like jokes about being an addict and, a recovering alcoholic. And I did like 1 or 2 bits about, now people tell me one of the jokes goes like this. Oh yeah. No, life's great. Life's great. Yeah. Cause I build it up. I told him that I, did the barefoot marathon and chopped up my feet and my nipples were bleeding, and it's a bleeding joke. I was bleeding from everywhere. Oh yeah, no, life's great. Life's great. Yeah. I'm bleeding out of my, bleeding out of my nipples, bleeding out of my feet, bleeding out of my ass. Oh yeah. People used to tell me, Rob, you had 10 doubles and you have a drinking problem. Now I do hundreds of miles. I bleed out of everywhere, and they give me medals. And so he learned a little bit about me. He learned a little bit about who I was. So we shared a lot of fun moments. It was funny. After the second show, he's like, all right, I've seen this. Can I not go to your shows anymore, Dad? I was like, yeah, you don't have to keep going. But it was good. It was super fun hanging out with him. We went and did stuff. We went to see these falls. Anyways, so New Brunswick was awesome.
Okay.
I also did last thing. I also did a bit on. I always want to be an Acadian. That was my last bit, and it really crushed. It really crushed. I told a story about how when I was young and I went over there on a volleyball scholarship, and then they cut me from the team, and then anyways, there's punchlines for each of these. And I'm dating this girlfriend. She left me at the airport. This actually happened to me. She left me at the airport.
I do remember this.
I slept at the airport in Halifax. She was supposed to pick me up on the way to university. I slept at the airport. I had no money to take a bus, so I ended up having my dad had to send me some money. I took a bus. Anyways, and then they cut me from the Volta, and the girl didn't want it, blah, blah, blah. How last year, and then I got this joke about how last year they were waiting for me. It was when I finished the run with Rob in New Brunswick. I was like, they're finally here. The Acadians, they want me. I look up in the hill just outside of Amherst, and I see, oh my God, a bunch of trucks and flags and people waving, and they're cheering for me. I can hear Rob Tatro. Man, finally they accept me. And then obviously the punchline is they were saying F Trudeau. And then that ended up being funny. So anyways, my jokes worked. So anyways, I'm done talking about this. Sorry, Charlie. It's fun for me.
Yeah. So I want to hear about your 200 and 400 workout from today. I drove by the track. I saw some guy, but I don't think it was you.
What time were you there?
I'm trying to see what time I went. I left at really late today.
Yeah, 9 o'clock or something, right?
I left at 9:17, so I would have been there about 9:15, 9:30.
I think that's when I was
there. But there was a guy there, but he didn't seem to be running too fast, so I don't think that was you.
It might have been my intervals, Charlie. It might have been in between. Might have been
your
okay. There was another guy there. I might have just missed you. There was another guy there who had a slightly different body type. He had the Rob Tatro body type from 3 years ago.
He was giving an effort. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. He was there. That was not me. I got there maybe a little later. I don't know what time I started.
But I'm looking at your last 200 here. Okay. So looking at your reps, wowzers.
Did they go good? Did my reps go good?
Did you not look at them, or you never?
I look at them, but I don't know. What do they mean?
So your last rep was 35 seconds. Your last 200.
Is that good?
Well, no, it's good. 400. So 40, 37, 39. So you slowly got faster. 420 a mile. I think I'm the best I've ever managed. For that was like 20 seconds worth. So that's pretty good. And then
that is for sure the fastest I've ever ran in my life, I think.
And then your 400s seem
bit of a battle.
Reasonable. 110s across. Oh no, 120s. 120. That's not bad. So so it went well.
Yeah, it went well. It's so fun. It's hard. It is hard.
But you went to the track, eh? So I'm gonna go to the track tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward. I haven't been to that track.
This is like my 5th time in a row, Charlie.
I haven't been to that track in so long. I remember when I was training for Boston the first time. Twice a week, because I had mile repeats once a week, and I had another type of workout.
They're my favorite workouts of the week right now.
Those are fun.
They're my absolute favorite. I go to the track twice a week. I have been going for 3 weeks. It's so fun. It is so fun. I love it. I absolutely love it. Hey, I wanted to a couple things I want to talk to you about, if that's all right.
Sure.
Did you see our buddy Phil Gore?
No, I didn't
see this news. Okay, we interviewed Phil Gore on episode, I don't know what, I should find out, but he shattered the record this week for most loops ever in a backyard.
118.
119 he did. The second guy.
He needed the competition, though. That's the key.
That's
the
the key.
assist. The
So,
assist.
Mr. Harvey, Sam Harvey, who we talked about in the episode. We interviewed this guy. He's the best ultra
So
runner on the planet.
eventually, I think this will.
What? I'm curious. Sorry to interrupt. I'm curious to see what you're
I think they're going to put an end to these things at some point.
Because someone's going to die or what?
No, just it's going to be the lack of sleep cannot be good for people, is what I'm thinking on these things.
Okay.
On these backyards that are 118 hours. Like, I know that one of the reasons Phil Gore is so good at it is because he does sleep. Remember on our interview?
Oh, that interview was so good.
When we interviewed him, he's like, no, for the
20 seconds here, 30, he can sleep like an extreme.
Go ahead, but he would like do his, during the night, he would do his lap fast, like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he'd squeeze in like a 15-minute nap every loop. That 15 minutes adds up over a few days, I would imagine.
Yeah, but even if you do 10 of those, 10, 15 naps, it's still only 2.5 hours of sleep, right?
Which is way, way, way. I think there's a big, big difference between 2.5 and 0, right?
Oh, for sure. But I think what you're saying is it's not. What you're saying
is
it's
still not adequate. It's still not adequate, though. But yeah,
no, for sure. But let me ask you this: why do you think? Like, we do a lot of stuff as human beings. We push ourselves for a lot of things just for the sake of sport, a philosophical debate here. And who are we to get in the way of someone wanting to jump off the highest platform, or wanting to dive the deepest ocean on one breath, or wanting to run the longest they possibly can around it? Like, who's going to like cancel it in your mind? And I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking you to further explain.
Well, I mean, at 5-6 days, it's not a big deal. Like right now, it's 5 days. What? 24 times 5.
It's 1 hour short of 5 days.
Yeah. So I think, but once it gets longer, like there's a point where it can have, like, it could potentially have permanent damage or things like that. So I don't know. They took out any in the Guinness Book of World Records. They took out any records relating to sleep deprivation.
Okay. People are still doing it, but
they're not, because it's not safe, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I think I can't think it's amazing that they can do
I'm blown away
that long, but the problem, the lack of sleep is like kind of preventing me from wanting to go there a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, if you and I go
in terms of me wanting, like, I think I could do 2 nights, but yeah, I don't think more than, like, I don't know, or I could do longer, but I mean, if I really, really set my mind to it. But do I want to at the expense of, like, potentially, it's basically just torturing yourself, right? So
it's tough, or it's it's for sure tough. I'm of the view that I want to, I have a mini goal I've talked about it before, of qualifying for Team Canada backyard.
Yeah.
And that I think will take 48 to 50 hours, maybe more, maybe a tad more, from 40 to 55, somewhere in there. So that means we'll need to do 2 nights. I did 24.
I feel like I just counted a number of nights, because I feel like once you're in the day, like, I mean, I've done it once there, so it's not like, what do I know? But once the day comes, it's like a whole different ball game. It's like there's no way you're stopping. There's no way you're stopping during the day.
Right. And we didn't stop. You know, we did 24 hours. We didn't stop. I wasn't feeling great by any stretch, but I mean, we were still going. Like, how many? You know, I think it's doable, and that's kind of my goal. I have no interest in. I know I can't compete with these guys. I don't want to. I have no interest in doing a week's worth of running without sleeping. Like, I that doesn't move the needle for me.
There are 2 big ones coming up here in Manitoba, I think.
Yeah. Well, this weekend is Old Tom's.
Old Tom's, yeah. I saw a lot of people doing practice loops.
Yeah. So Old Tom's is happening. So
for those of you guys, take those loops slow, 48 minutes, guys. That's the trick.
For those that don't know or remember, a backyard is a race where you do a loop every hour on the hour, and you got to do 4.16 miles or 6.7 kilometers. And the idea is that you fit 100 miles in one day at that pace. And you can't accumulate your minutes. You just got to keep running. So every hour the bell rings and you got to get up and you start running. And if you can't
If you were running it this week, what would be your strategy? Sorry to interrupt.
No, I appreciate this question. I would do what you did. And in fact, I'm a great sleeper.
But so wait, it's slightly different because it's 4 1/6, right? So
yeah, sorry.
What would be your loop length for a day and night?
I think I would start 10-minute miles. I think I would start just to hammer them up because I'm not going to sleep right in the first 10, 12 hours. Probably.
Yeah, so I would go even slow. I was thinking I would do like 52-minute yards.
Yeah, something like that.
To nice just and give easy. Myself like 4 or 5 minutes to relax and drink and whatever.
Yeah. I think that's a good strategy. That's what I would do. And then I would Phil Gore, man, the guy's the best on the planet. He told us.
And in evening, I would put in a couple hard ones because I remember that totally woke me up when I did it in Utah. Started doing some hard ones, and I also gave me confidence because like, oh, I can run, and then you sleep in 5. You try to fit in 10-minute naps there at night.
Yeah, I think I would be. I think I'd be able to do up to 10-minute naps if I could somehow do 46-minute loops, 47-minute loops. If I could do that, then I would.
During the night, you should be pretty close to 10 to 40s, right? Should you not? Like you could do 40s? No. You don't think?
What are they again? They're
like you ran a 2:58 marathon. You should be able to run 40-minute yard. I mean, I know there's terrain and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I should be able to. So that leaves me 15 minutes of napping. I should be able to.
I think that's, if I were you, that's the strategy. Because for me, 40 might be a little hard. I might take 42, 43 or something.
And yeah, that would be like zone 1. Like there's I'm actually a little excited about it. I saw the headline there and I saw Phil Gore, and I still follow Phil Gore on our whatever. He comes on.
So which race? Oh, it was an Australian race? Or?
Yeah, it's the biggest race in Australia. It's the Fat Dog, or what's it called?
Yeah. And Sam Harvey got the assist.
Harvey got the assist, and they beat the Polish guys. Dead Cow Gully. The
Polish guys just quit because they had won, right? So,
apparently
they had quit at 109. They were all tied or something.
They did another race. This article tells me
that. Oh, sorry. So this is a different. I was thinking not Polish.
They did another. So that was last year at the World Championships. The Polish guys all
Polish. That wasn't the Polish. That was the guys from
Austria, Denmark. Sorry, what country was it?
I think
Danish,
Norway, Denmark or Norway or something. One of those.
Regardless, those 3 guys all stopped at the same time at one point.
Yeah, because they had one. It was a team event.
And they all stopped together. They held their hands and they stopped together. But Poland's Lukas Robel, a few weeks ago, the article says, set the record at 116.
116, okay.
And then these guys, Phil Gore, and I bet you anything, they obviously they signed up together because they're like, you don't get 50 chances at this, right? You get 1 chance per year, probably, maybe 2 chances per year.
Well, it sounds like these guys, they do them like every 4 weeks. I've heard, like, I mean.
Yeah, his last loop. So this guy did 800 kilometers, guys. 800. That's a good, quarter for most people. Most of us, you and me, are degenerate runners. We're addicts. And everyone that we follow on Strava, those are all like big runners.
In 5 days, right? So
5 days.
It's a slightly faster than Dave Proctor, but for the entire, Dave Proctor did it for all across Canada.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But he had some sleep in, so.
Yeah, I'm sure Phil Gore would rather go a little faster for 4 or 5 hours and sleep for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
So this was just mind blowing when I saw this. Well, I mean, we called it in our episode. I don't know if you were, I called it, or you. One of us said this record is going to increase.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we're just like, so with these new sports, what happens is like people learn how to do them, learn the science, learn techniques, and learn how to train. All these things that it's just, and like marginal gains. Like cycling's been around forever, and still people are getting marginal gains, right? So
Yeah. He did it in winter in Australia. So like there's footage here, video of him. He's dressed up. He's got a jacket on. He's got mitts, toques. Like I guess it was raining. So like that's probably better, I guess. It was probably like 4 degrees or something in the middle of the night. So
yeah,
anyways,
they're not used to. They're not, it's probably not that cold.
episode 98, The Running Journey. If you want to listen to us, you and me, interviewing the best ultra runner on the planet, Bill Gore, go listen to episode 98. I disagree with you that they're going to cancel it soon. I think there's a runway here where they're going to let
Yeah,
people break
no, there's a runway for sure. Yeah.
And I'm excited about, as much as I said I would never, ever, ever, ever do that again. I'm excited about it now. Also, I saw Louis Cormier. I want to give a shout out to Louis Cormier. If you haven't checked out that episode, I believe it's episode like 47 or something, one of our early episodes. He's the author of From Addiction to Fitness. He was in Memram Cook, and he came in and we ran together in his hometown. He's doing a half Ironman this weekend in Shitska. He's 70 years old, and he wants to. He's gunning to finish an actual Ironman in his 70s. So
speaking of 70 years old, a quick
that
shout
was
out.
that was my next topic of conversation.
Quick shout out to both my parents. So my mom just crushing her runs every day, following the Greg McMillan AI coach
on Strava, right? Or Garmin.
On Garmin, yeah. Anyways, and then my dad, who we didn't know started running, ran a 10K, and I was looking at the data from his workouts for a 70-year-old. Like he's
more than 70. He's 73.
Yeah, so he had to do 10-second sprints. He was doing them at sub 6 minute per mile pace. It's pretty good for that age. His resting heart rate is 45. I don't know.
He's also got stage 4 cancer. He's got stage 4 ALL
anyways,
cancer.
He's doing well. He's doing well on the running front. I find he's just got he has that disease of going too hard though. So he's got
So I wanted to talk about this. It was the next point on my list. My dad, we've talked about him many, many times on this podcast, but he ran 50 miles as a 10, 11, 12-year-old. He did 3 or 4 times. And his best time was like 9 hours and 17 minutes or something as a kid, 50 miler back in the day when like in the 60s, early 60s, late 50s, early 60s.
60s, yeah.
So like he's obviously got it in his blood. He's run several marathons. I don't know how many, but he was never like a 3-hour marathoner. Like did he ever even break 4?
I don't think he ever broke 4.
No, sure. He would kind of train, stop smoking cigars.
But not quite, yeah.
So yeah, he was an athlete for sure. Like he played hockey and he was an athlete, but he never he wasn't an addict to running like we are, is what I'm trying to send the message to the listeners. Yeah. But he trained to Run with Rob 2 years ago. He was fresh off cancer chemo, like really fresh off his chemo. And him and I did a quiet half marathon in Brandon, Manitoba, shoulder to shoulder. I saw him suffer. And my worry there was not that he would quit. My worry was going to drop dead. Like, because he would push himself. Like, that's the problem with our dad is he pushes himself very hard. Like, he's not worried about pushing himself hard, right?
Oh, yeah. No, he's got, so his coach, so he's also following the AI coach there. And he told me, this is just way too easy. Like I'm not even working. Like anyway, so I told him, keep work, don't go too hard because you know what happens,
Well, the last time he tried ramping up for mileage, he felt good in Mazatlan last winter. Yeah. My parents were down there for 2-3 months or whatever. Hopefully he's not embarrassed that I'm telling the story, but he's like, oh, I'm going to start running. So he started first day, half mile. Second day, increase it by half a mile per day.
Half a mile every day. I heard the story. Yeah.
So like on day 10 or whatever.
And then day 11, he collapsed or something.
Yeah, he collapsed and he injury. And like, he's like, I thought my plan was foolproof. An extra half mile every day. How does that end, Claude? Where do you end there? You hit 20 miles every day and you're happy? He did the 10K, the Pepe Jerry 10K well, they both had a really good time, I think, like for anyone, but for 70-year-olds for sure. My mom did like, what was it? 80 some minutes, I think. 90 some minutes. 80?
Somewhere, but she was doing like her easy type.
Yeah.
Most of it was an easy run for her. It was supposed to be.
So
I
do
think
you
she went a
know,
little too hard, maybe, but
is Claude sharing his data with you?
no. He gave me his phone, and I just looked at every one of his workouts.
You went through,
I spent like 30 minutes looking at all his workouts. I'm
So
like,
go ahead.
I don't think so. He does. I think his max heart rate's pretty low.
Well, he's
So I think,
73.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what would
I
it
mean,
be? Like 140,
but
150? So
when he runs, he has a low heart rate, like really low. So, but I can tell when he's reaching he's plateauing there. This all of a sudden the heart rate starts going up.
right, you could tell where his thresholds are or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, more than a shout out. This is, and I mean, I don't know if they listen to the podcast. Do you think they listen to the podcast? Well, I'm gonna, okay, they do. I'm gonna give a call out to my father and say I would love to be able to follow you on Strava or Garmin so I could see your runs. It would mean a lot to me if you would allow me. You don't have to let the people, just me and Charlie, just the two of us.
Yeah. Just the two of us. Don't have to make it public.
Don't make it public. Just me and Charlie. I would love to see your runs, Claude. It would bring me so much joy as your son to share that with you.
Yeah, like I spent like 30 minutes looking at every one of his workouts.
I don't think he wants to show. I don't know. I don't. What do you think he is? Why is he he thinks he's embarrassed because he's not going fast enough, or I don't know why. This is so impressive what he's doing. So impressive.
Yeah, you should see his intervals 10 seconds. So now he's supposed to do 40-second intervals, and I'm like, I told him, do not go faster than what the thing tells you, because 40 seconds is not 10 seconds. Like
It's a different ballgame.
Yeah.
So he's thinking it's way too easy. I could do this in my sleep.
Yeah.
I think I'll do 15 miles.
And the other thing he told me is he was supposed to do 10 seconds. He said, I did 15 instead of 10 because I could barely. I didn't have time to get to top speed in 10 seconds or something.
So they're both running. I guess they're feeding the same off the same highs that you and I are feeding. So that's good. I was so excited. I called mom yesterday. I was updating her and she was updating me on her runs, and she's doing great. Her goal is to do a half in this month. Holy smokes. Am I going to, that's this month.
August 2nd, she had it in her books or something.
Okay. Yeah. It would be the start of the end of Run with Rob PEI.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm leaving in, holy smokes. That's coming up soon. 3 weeks. I guess I'm going to PEI. So yeah, that's
pretty excited for that. That's going to be fun, eh?
I am. Yeah, I'm really pumped. PEI is beautiful, and my family's coming. Uncle Mo and Sue, shout out to them. My parents are coming. TJ's coming. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun. I've booked the place. The place in PEI. It's so beautiful there. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to do. Palgrenier coming. Huguette told me she was coming. Grains is coming, I think.
Oh wow.
Then there's some like JP and some other buddies. Spray On is coming. So yeah, I'm excited about the people that'll make their way out, and then I'm actually, I don't know if you get like this. I'm just excited about the next thing and the next. Like I'm excited about the next. I have a fun 4 or 5 months coming up here. Really excited. There's this race.
I feel like I can't. I have to think about one thing at a time. For me, it's too much. If it's one,
it's too much. You're thinking I'm ADHD or whatever.
Yeah.
Just focus on one thing. Well, right now I'm all in on this 5K. I'm all in. I think if I were today, I'd probably be an 18. I don't know. What would some coach say? What would Carolyn say? Patrick said 18:45, something like that. I got 2 weeks.
Based on your marathon time, and should be around 18:30.
18:30. Okay, so can I trim 30 seconds in 2 weeks, and can I have a good day on that day. So I'm
Wait,
excited.
wait. What does your Garmin predictor say, and what does your Strava predictor
Oh
say?
yeah. Let's find out right away because I did check them. What does yours say? Do you have yours ready, handy?
Yeah. Well, let me just.
I'll pull mine up.
I
Performance.
think it's 1905 on Garmin,
Okay.
and 1920 on Strava.
Oh, so that's good.
Yeah.
So Garmin, I have 1837.
Okay.
And where do I even find it on Strava?
Go to your profile.
I'm like my dad. Where would you find this here? So I'm
Yeah.
on my profile. Oh, best efforts, segments, routes, best efforts.
No, I think let me just okay. So on Strava, what happens is you need to go
Got
to
it. Performance prediction. It's telling me 1859. So
oh
Strava
doesn't like what they're
doesn't
seeing.
like what I'm doing. Strava doesn't like. You know what? I see this as a challenge. They don't believe in me. Strava doesn't believe in me. Eat shit, Strava. Okay, I'm gonna show you.
Now I can't find. Okay, I got it. You go
Click
to
on the
you.
U at the bottom
Yeah.
right. And
Yeah.
they're
So
all
Strava
random.
1920. So I was right.
You and I are about the same.
Okay, and then Garmin finally works. I had to get a new account, new watch.
New watch, new account.
Well, my other watch died. 1907.
Okay, so we're
So for the bookies out there,
we're big dogs. We are big dogs.
Yeah.
What does your 10K have? I have 3853 here.
39 something. 3938 on Strava. Sorry, on Garmin.
Okay.
And on Strava it is
mine are comparable.
4021. So Strava doesn't like me as much as Garmin.
My half marathon times are 2 seconds apart. 125.33, 135.35, 125.35.
Oh, from the two predictors.
Yeah.
319 for a full.
Yeah, it doesn't like once you stop. It really
312
doesn't like
on Garmin. So Strava 319.
I went to 330.
It thinks I'm not running enough, I guess.
Yeah, I went to 330 after London. I went to 330. I just did a 258 and I went to 330 like a month later. Or maybe that was
But in
after
honesty,
Chicago.
I think so Garmin's got me at 311 and Strava's got me at 319. I think in reality, depending on the course, I could probably do a 315. So
okay. When is your next marathon?
Chicago.
Oh yeah. Okay. Chicago with us, with the cool kids, the cool crew. Last thing I wanted to ask you about is your thoughts on cross training. Patrick's been putting in 1 week bike for me once a week on the Wednesdays.
Well, do you have an entry on your calendar for August 9th in your Training Peaks calendar right now?
I don't know.
I'm concerned about
me. You're worried about me?
The amount of training you're doing for this Cross-Manitoba bike ride that we're planning.
I will get it done, Charlie. I will get it done.
Okay.
I've never DNF'd a race in my life. I'm not DNFing this one.
Okay. So
I might drag behind and I might finish an hour or two after you guys, but I will finish that thing.
Okay, great. That's good.
I will finish. I'll be fresh off of PI. So
you'll get some endurance training. That's good.
I'll have a lot of endurance training. So as soon as this 5K is done, Charlie.
So wait, is it on your Training Peaks calendar?
I don't know if it's on my Training Peaks calendar. Probably not. Events. No, probably not, I would imagine. August. When is it? August? Nothing. It's not in there. I'll let him know. Did you let him know? Did you let Patrick know?
Yeah, mine's been on there. I mean, he's going to train me hard on the bike no matter what, but
I mean, when am I going to train for that?
He's got now I've got long distance workout, but at a super easy pace. I wonder if that's specific.
I should probably do 3 hours tomorrow. Because I don't have much time to ramp up for that because I lose 2 weeks.
No, you have no time to train. I'm kidding about that, but you have zero time to train. Basically, you have a month. But I think
I could do 3-4 hours on the bike just for my butt.
I think what you need is a bit of intensity on the bike and a bit of that butt training, like you just
I've been
said.
doing 90 minutes the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
90 minutes on Wednesdays.
If you do 90 minutes on Wednesdays, make it kind of intense, I think is what you need.
Well, he told me I kind of went hard. I pulled a Claude there, my dad, and
Okay. He told you not to go too hard.
I want you to stay in whatever zone because you need to recover and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But
It's supposed to be just cross training, right? It's supposed to be.
yeah.
Well, are you putting a different seat on your bike? No.
I mean, I was gonna bring a spare seat and
change the
see if it change
changer le mal de place, as my dad would say.
Maybe halfway through or something.
Okay, so remind viewers what that's about real quick. That is the 506 kilometer. Well, that's how long.
Well, I think it's like 485 kilometers. Our route's 485 because we go straight across.
485 kilometers.
Cross-Manitoba. There might be a couple detours to have some meals in Head Asheville and in Portage La Prairie.
Yeah, I don't think I'll have time to stop because I'll be catching up to you guys at every.
No, you have to stay. You have to stay behind us because then it saves you.
The drag.
Yeah, you gotta stay behind.
Yeah, I don't know.
If we go too fast, we'll slow down.
As long as we stay on like finishing a day pace, right?
Yeah, okay. For sure.
Are we starting like at 1 a.m.?
I think we haven't determined all of those details, but I am thinking we start at midnight.
Yeah,
so that it's
kind of
done
like in a day.
It's a calendar day type of thing.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
I was going to tell you that we should do that, but I mean,
yeah.
So, how many miles should I have done in the last 3 months if I'm going to do 500 kilometers in one day? More than 500?
Yeah, more than 500.
Okay. I did 40 at the Ironman or the triathlon. I've done 3 Wednesdays of 90 minutes, whatever that is.
45. You're getting there.
Yeah. So tomorrow I'll stretch it out to 2 hours for you, and then next week I'll do 3 hours.
No, don't do anything for me, but maybe
worst
case. Put it in the Training Peaks calendar, maybe.
Worst case, you guys go, and I'll just I'm not gonna make you guys ruin the race but I'm gonna finish it.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear.
There's zero doubt in my mind.
Really?
Not zero, but I mean, I know I can do this. The time thing might be a factor, but I will finish.
Yeah. Okay.
You're thinking I should be worried?
No, I'm not. I'm not worried at all for myself.
SEMO also, you're not worried about SEMO because
SEMO or like these guys are doing 100 mile. They're doing 100 miles a day on the weekends, and so basically we're doing 300 miles. So they're already a third there. I think it's easier as a group too, right? And then we're gonna have breaks and eating. So if there'd be someone I'd be concerned about, it'd be you.
Well, yeah, it's not those other two that are training for Ironman.
Yeah.
Simo's and Victor is like always on his bike. That guy, he's always on his bike.
Yeah,
he must be training for an Ironman too, right?
Hecla maybe. Hecla Detour. I don't know. Yeah, he's got a nice bike, so yeah. So maybe he is training for an Ironman. I don't know.
When are we doing that? August 9th? What day of the week is that? Is that a Sunday?
It's a Saturday.
Okay, so I get back on the Monday or the Tuesday of that week from PI. I'll taper 4 days, and I'll be ready.
Take a bit of a rest there. Yeah.
I'll be ready. Okay, you know what? I'll start worrying about it now that you tell me I should worry about it.
No, yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. No, I'm way more worried about this race on July 16th. Let's get serious.
Yeah. That
might be a debacle.
Yeah, we don't want him to lap us. I don't want him to lap me on like the third lap out of 12, right?
We don't want to get lapped.
I don't want to get lapped, right?
How quickly does he do his laps?
He does his laps probably in
16 minutes. 16. So 1 1/4. So 1:16 maybe he does his laps.
1,000 seconds. Is that right? Sorry.
Well, so just give him 16:30. Just
80 seconds. 80 seconds per lap.
So 120. So we can't lose by more than 120.
Okay.
It's
Then he
like
doesn't
it's
lap
like
me.
getting skunked in cribbage.
Yeah. Okay. So that's our absolute. We're not getting lapped.
Yeah.
That's a goal. Or C goal. A goal is winning. B goal is
The B goal is not get lapped.
A goal is winning. B goal is personal best. C goal is don't get lapped. And D goal quit.
Well, I mean, I think maybe if we just do, well, no, you've never really run 5K, so personal best like doesn't really mean much.
I did that one. I did that one at.
Yeah, you did 1910 or something, right?
Is that what I did? Okay, so personal best doesn't mean much. You're right.
Because you don't run enough. For me, it would mean something. I think my personal best is 1927, same race. That would be meaningful for me to do that. I think I should be able to, but who knows?
I want you to do speed work. I can't wait. So tomorrow you're doing speed work?
Okay, so if we both have stretch goals of 19, sub 19 for me, sub 18 for you, gives us a shot, right?
That's a very stretchy.
Okay. But we gotta think of impossibilities here.
That's kind of what I thought.
It's like you're down by 20. You have to throw Hail Marys, right?
Yeah, but that's exactly what I did, Charlie. I looked at their times. I said, "What do I have to do to win this race?"
Okay, so
I counted backwards. I have to do sub 18.
If you do sub 18, if I do and I do sub 19, that gives us a shot, right?
Yeah, gives us a shot because he'll do 16:30 and she'll do 20:30. So they're at 37 minutes. So now
we're tied.
We're only tied, and they might be better than that actually.
Oh, okay, well,
it's on me. I should have never agreed to this race. We should have agreed to a timeline that was better for our training. Should have done anyways, I'm not
a full marathon.
No.
Full marathon relay.
No. We're fine with this. It'll be fine. But if we lose, it's not because we didn't try. You maybe, but I'm trying. I am definitely trying to win this race.
I'm trying.
No, I know. So sub 19, sub 18, those are the stretch goals.
Well, it sounds like that's what we need, actually. So I got to run my intervals at 340 or so. Okay.
Good luck. Okay. Anything else, Charlie, you want to add on this?
Check my Strava tomorrow morning.
I can't wait. So tomorrow I'm biking and you're sprinting. So tomorrow's is a what is it called? Seinfeld?
Bizarro day.
It's Bizarro day. Tomorrow's Bizarro day. I'm on the bike. By the way, I don't even go outside. I stay on my trainer because it's way better on my trainer in my basement. Should I go outside tomorrow?
I'll go outside one day with you if you want to go.
No, I'm gonna get
I can pull you and we can. Yeah, let's plan to go outside together one time.
When are you biking this weekend? What are you biking this weekend?
A million miles Friday, a million miles Saturday. Sorry, no. So I got a 350. I got a 350 and a 2-hour bike ride.
Are you doing them at the Friday 200 or are you going to Marchand?
Well, I'm gonna do my long one on Friday, so that I only have 2 hours to do on Saturday.
And then you'll bring your trainer and you'll do it in like I did?
No, I was thinking of maybe going from Marchand to Richer, quick bike ride.
Okay.
See
Not thinking. You've mapped it out. You've decided this is happening.
I'm debating if I want to do that or trainer, but we'll see. Yeah, okay. I'll bring the trainer just in case. But I think it would be fun to bike from Marchand to Richer.
Line 13? No, you're going around.
Around? No, go through the town. Yeah, go through La Broquerie. Quick sprint in La Broquerie. I'll make a La Broquerie.
Who's segment. That? Who's that?
I'll make a La Broquerie segment and.
Okay. All right. Well, I will see you this weekend. I'll see. We got the Saint Lob 200, which is a 2-day go-kart building festival. Day 1, you build. Day 2, you race in the middle of our mom's hometown in Saint Lob, Manitoba. Charlie, you're still on the board for that. You're helping out.
Yep.
So we'll do that, and then we will see you guys next week. I will look at your Strava times tomorrow, and I hope they're good. I really hope they're good. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna do the classic. I'm gonna start lower, try to increase throughout.
Okay.
That's what Patrick always tells me to do.
He told me to do that too.
I see what the master Johnny Coughlin does. Sorry, I keep pumping up his tires.
I know. He finished his last reps were his fastest reps.
Yeah. So that's how you're supposed to do it, I think.
Oh my God. Okay. Well,
That's
good luck tomorrow.
That's what I'll try to do anyways.
All right. Anything else, Charlie?
No, that's it. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Good luck with all your training, guys. Hope you're enjoying your running outside, biking outside, swimming outside, whatever drives you these days. Don't forget, give us a 5-star review if you can. Please take 5 seconds. Charlie and I do this. It means a lot to us. It would help us grow the podcast. 5-star review. And don't forget, more miles, less pace. Let's go.
Let's go.